official is accused of telling colleagues to vote for the candidate, which would violate election laws banning public servants from influencing elections. Police have seized the official's computer and are continuing their investigation to verify the facts. Busan City and World Vision's Busan branch will support youth caring for family members. Family care youth refers to young people who take on caregiving responsibilities themselves instead of being cared for due to a sudden accident, illness, or disability of their guardian. World Vision Busan plans to donate 300 million Korean won by 2027 to ease the caregiving burden on these youth, providing up to 3 million Korean won per person for expenses such as caregiving costs, housing, medical bills, and education. Eligible applicants are family care youth under 35 years old whose household income is at or below 120% of the median income. In international news, a U.S. appeals court has temporarily reinstated the tariffs imposed by President Trump while it reviews a lower court's ruling that had blocked them. This means the tariffs will stay in place for now, extending the uncertainty around the Trump tariffs. The lower court had ruled that the tariffs, especially those on Canada, Mexico, Canada, and nearly all countries worldwide, were not authorized under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. The court said the president doesn't have unlimited power under this law to impose tariffs. And now for today's weather. Current temperatures are 22 degrees Celsius, with highest to go up to 25 degrees. That wraps up this hour's news. Thank you for joining us. You are listening to BEFM 부산영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM 부산영어방송.
Coming up next is Busan Worldwide with Stephanie Yoon. BEFM 부산영어방송.
Good morning and welcome to Busan Worldwide. Recently, the city of Busan has been expanding policies to help immigrants such as international students, professionals, and also marriage migrants become active members of society. These efforts include support for naturalization, settlement assistance, and cultural exchange programs. As Busan moves toward becoming a truly global hub city, it embraces diversity not as a challenge but as a driving force for growth and innovation. 글로벌 허브도시를 꿈꾸는 부산은 다양성을 불편함이 아닌 성장의 힘으로 삼아서 세계와 함께 미래로 나아가고 있습니다. Well, this is Busan Worldwide, and I'm your host, Stephanie Yoon.
This is Busan Worldwide. Your window into Busan. Your bridge to the world.
That's right. Welcome again to Busan Worldwide, coming to you live on this Friday, May 30th from BEFM, 부산영어방송, 90.5 FM in Busan and 103.3 FM in Gijang, Jeongwan, and Noksan areas. We already have messages coming in, like Benny-님 saying hello, Stephanie, Chang PD, and everyone. Happy last TGIF of May. That's right. Happy Friday. Now, on May 22nd, over 3 300 immigrants, including international students, marriage migrants, and foreign workers, gathered at Sajik Baseball Stadium. Together, they cheered "Go Lotte!" Lotte 화이팅! 함께 보입시다 in unison. Now, this event was organized by the Busan Immigration Office to bring immigrants and local citizens together for a shared experience. It was also a special opportunity for second-generation immigrants, including youth from multicultural backgrounds, to feel a sense of belonging and begin shaping their identity within Korean society. Now, before the game, a special performance took place on stage with support from the Lotte Giants, Professor 샤티야브러타 in computer engineering at Busan National University, who recently became a Korean citizen, led the singing of the national anthem along with others who had gone through the naturalization process. And they come from different countries, different backgrounds, but now share a new identity as Korean citizens, as Busan locals. So in today's edition of The Interview, we'll speak with Professor 샤티야브러타 who has lived in Busan for 10 years and is now embracing life not as a foreigner but as a Korean. And with that, today's text topic is this. What's your personal tip for adapting to a new environment? What's your personal tip for adapting to a new environment? Many of our listeners have likely, lived abroad, as we know, and are living abroad right now as we speak. So we like to, hear your stories about how you adjusted to unfamiliar surroundings. 네, 오늘의 문자 주제는 새로운 환경에 적응할 때 여러분만의 노하우는 무엇인가요? 인데요. 해외에서 살아본 경험이 있는 청취자분들 많으실 것 같아요. 낯선 환경에 적응했던 여러분의 이야기 많이 보내주시고요. Personally, I ask a lot of questions. Like if I go to a restaurant at a different country, I would just ask how do you eat this, right? And also I would look around a lot and just do what people are doing. 우리 작가는 처음에는 눈치를 본다고 합니다. So she looks around a lot and observe what they're doing and try to, kind of blend in. I think that's kind of important. Try to not stand out and just adjust to the culture as you see and what people are doing, right? So listeners, do let us know what you do, right? And send us your thoughts via text, the BFM Kakao Talk, or YouTube live chat as well. As always, one participant will be selected to receive a coffee gift coupon. Now, we have a lot of messages coming in. We have Benny님, 사랑니, 요정님 messaging in as well. Jinli님 messaging in saying hi, Stephanie, and 동헌린 messaging in as well saying 모두 good morning. Good morning to you as well. I think it's your first time here. Welcome to Busan Worldwide, 동헌님. And also Benny님 messaging in saying my tip for a new environment, especially at work, is just let yourself adjust, meet new friends, and ask about what they are doing. And restaurant-wise, just ask the menu as well as the workers there as well, right? I think just kind of adjusting, following as well, and looking around, observing is very important indeed. Well, from Busan to the world, Busan Worldwide. 잠시 후 오늘의 더 인터뷰 만나보겠습니다. It's time for the interview. Choosing to live in a country other than the one you were born in, it's not just a matter of changing your nationality, but a question of identity and belonging. On May 20th, an Indian-born scientist became naturalized citizen of Korea, consciously really choosing the identity of being Korean. And that person is Professor 샤티야브러타 a visiting professor at the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Busan National University, an adjunct professor at Inje University as well. So we're pleased to meet him today on the interview. Hello and welcome.
Hello. 안녕하세요. 저는 아이치 샤티야브러타입니다. 저는 한국에 온 지 한 10년 넘게 되었습니다. 저는 이제 대학원도 들어왔고 이제 교수 일도 하고 이제 사업도 같이 하고 있습니다. 네, 최근에 이제 한국 국적 취득 하게 돼서
네.
너무 기쁩니다. 네,
반갑습니다.
감사합니다.
Can you introduce yourself in English as well?
Yeah, myself is 샤티야브러타. I've been here for last 10 years, and then I came as a student, to do my PhD here in Korea, and then the time passed by, and then now I'm also a professor here in Busan National University, and also doing my own business in AI, related field. Yeah.
Very
Thank you.
cool. Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you in the studio today. Now, as you mentioned, you recently acquired a Korean citizenship, so congratulations.
Thank you.
How did you feel when you received your certificate of naturalization?
It was truly an emotional moment. It's difficult, to put into words.
Right.
But receiving the certificate felt like being embraced by a country I have grown to love deeply. It was a moment of reflection, pride, and quite promise to contribute meaningfully to the society.
Right. That's definitely a touching moment. I think it must have felt so special to be officially welcomed in by a country that you've grown to love and stayed for 10 years of your life. Now, we heard you were also invited to the Immigrant Network baseball viewing event to celebrate your naturalization. Did you enjoy the game?
Yeah, I had a really great time, and because I love Lotte Giant, because I feel like I'm a Busan person. So it was not just about the game.
Well,
it was
now
just
you are a Busan person.
yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was just not about the game. It was about the belongings. So cheering as a Korean citizen was truly emotional. So I love the game. Yeah. And also I played baseball as well.
Oh.
3 years back, actually, I was a player for a club here in Gyeongnam. And I played for 1 year, but because of a lot of commitments,
Right.
I quit it.
Oh,
But I
wow.
love baseball as well. Yeah.
So it's definitely special to you. Now, I mentioned it in the opening. You led the singing of the national anthem. How was that?
Wow, it's I'm not good at singing actually, okay, but
We
it was.
can see it in the picture.
Yeah, but you
You
can
look
see that
nervous.
I was quite nervous, but the teacher actually who's a professional, and then we just followed him, and then his voice is really loud. And I just tried to, match his, the flow. Yeah, but anyway, I think I did really well. But you look at the face, actually, I was really scared up because I'm not good at singing, to be honest. Yeah.
Even though you look nervous, you did it.
Yeah,
right?
I did it. Yeah, that's really,
Yeah, it's very meaningful.
Yeah.
Our PD is just zooming in on your face.
Correct. You can
Stop
see
it.
that, right? It's quite nervous. I was
Yeah.
very focused, how can I, make that one,
Yes.
with the flow.
So many people staring at you, watching you, and you're not comfortable singing. But how many people in the world can say that they did that, right? It's very special.
That's really special for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So now you're originally from India,
Yes.
studied at the Indian Institute of Technology. So what was your major there?
Yeah, so I had a double major, actually, mechanical engineering and then also software engineering. So actually this combination allowed me to bridge the physical system with computational logic, okay, and which later helped me to do my PhD in AI.
Right.
Yeah,
Very timely. And what made you choose Korea as your study abroad destination?
Yeah, so when I grow up, so I can see that, in India also there are fridge, TV, LG, Samsung, the car is Hyundai and everything.
Right.
So I was thinking about Korea is a really, developed country, a lot of innovation is going on. So, if I get a chance to, go to Korea, definitely I'll choose it. So that's what it came to me. And then I, immediately took that opportunity and then came to Korea.
How interesting. It's fascinating how early exposure to all these Korean brands led you. It's almost like Korea is promoting and advertising itself to other people around the world through the brands.
Yes.
And you arrived in Busan back in 2014.
Yes.
What was your first impression of the city and how did you end up just settling here?
Yeah, Busan is a really, beautiful place actually. The moment I reached here, actually, I feel like, oh, this could be my, second hometown kind of feeling. And the people are really good and then really they are very welcoming as well. And I met some really nice people as well here actually, some of the unknown people actually when I met them. So few of them one of my I called Hungnim, So yeah, I met him after 1 year, and then after that actually we became so close, and then he invited me to a lot of gatherings where I could meet a lot of business people and everything, which is really hard, to meet, to find those opportunities to, meet those people here. So I feel like really confident, and then I could have a larger social circle. I never feel like alone.
Right.
And yeah, so those feelings and emotional moments actually, I feel like, I'm already been here. I mean, although it's 2 years or 3 years, but I'm already in my hometown. I don't feel, alone. I have a lot of friends. So yeah, those things, make me, I can settle down here. And, on that way, actually, 10 years gone by, and then, and also, there are a few more, persons actually, they helped me a lot, and, so it's all together. It's a really nice experience, yeah.
That's great to hear. Finding community and feeling belonged is definitely not the easiest thing when you go to a new country. But through you mentioned 형님, you were able to feel at home and really feel welcomed in Busan, and I'm so glad. Now, listeners, if you're just tuned into Busan Worldwide, we're in the middle of the interview with Professor 샤티야브러타 Aichi, and we are talking about his experience here in Busan and him becoming Korean as well. Now, many people say that language is the biggest challenge when living abroad, and we've heard it already. You're fluent in Korean. How was that case for you, though?
To be honest, actually, when I came to Korea, actually, I didn't know anything about Korean language. Okay, I mean, I heard about the Korean language, but I didn't. I mean, I could not able to speak a single language. And then also, for 1 year, I didn't try it. And then after 1 year, actually, suddenly I took a course in the university. And then when I started speaking, all the teachers said, "Wow, you can speak really well. Actually, why don't you, try?" And then that gives a lot of motivation to me. And then I start from there, and then and then after that, what I did is I try to listen a lot, how the people talk, and then how the way actually talking actually. So I used to listen them and then try to copy and then speak. Okay, so immediately, and so that helped me. So after that, actually I try to speak in Korean instead of English and something. So it's keep me keep practicing the Korean language.
Right.
And then the immigration, actually they have one program actually called KIIP, Korea Immigration and Integration Program.
Okay.
It's 5 level. But by the time I joined, actually I have already have some Korean language
So you
skills.
started on level 5?
Yes, it's level 4.
Oh, wow.
So 4 and 5 actually I learned there. And then also that helped me to learn more actually about the culture, political things, and a lot more. So yeah, all together. And then but the thing actually I can tell you you have to keep on practicing this one, and then so I also listened a lot. And so that helped me, and definitely because of the 형님, so he used to call me, and then I'm the only foreigner actually, and with 10 or 11 Koreans, and then so I get a chance actually to speak to everyone, and
awesome.
so that helped me, and with Somek definitely because that time I love Somek actually. So that's
Yes.
So with Somek actually it was much more comfortable.
Right.
So it was
you're relaxed.
형님,
Yes, and everyone's understanding. They're tipsy. Yes. So drinking. So there are a lot of tips that you mentioned. So one is the Korea Immigration and Integration Program, definitely conducted by the Immigration Office, and having different levels and specific things that they teach you, but also imitating, you mentioned, imitating other people speak, and also drinking with other people and being able to practice Korean language. Very great tips, I would say. Now, as a foreigner living in Korea, what challenges did you face, and when did you feel maybe a real sense of reward?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, actually, when you come actually as a foreigner, you'll feel I'm an outsider kind of thing. But before coming to Korea, I was also living in other country, in Japan and also in Thailand. So what I learned in the previous experience, that one, instead of feeling as a different country or feeling as a foreigner, if you think that this is my own country and all the people are my own country people, then I think things will be much easier.
Right.
Okay, so I mean, you will feel belonging to that place. So that experience actually helped me to stay also in Korea, and then also when I meet people, actually I feel very welcoming. And also I mean, although in every country you go, you will find a lot of negative things going on as a foreigner.
Of course.
But I think I took that as a positive thing kind of thing, because I mean by myself also I'm little bit more positive. So instead of focusing on the negative things, actually I was focusing on more positive things actually.
Wow.
So in that case, actually, if you talk about actually I'm really lucky. I met really some nice people like the 형님 and many more 형님, many more nunas and many more friends. So yeah, they were really nice.
Yeah.
So I never feel like I'm an outsider although like I listened a lot about my friends, so we feel a little different, but I was completely different actually. So I feel always like, from the beginning actually, I always say, oh, I'm a Korean, when they say, oh, so it's kind of feeling. So yeah, so all this, it's a kind of, it could be a luck here actually, but it's also like, my way of doing things actually. So I feel always like, it's my own country,
right,
wherever I stay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You mentioned you're lucky, but I think it's the positive outlook that you had that influenced other people to be drawn to you and for you to have that positive experience as well.
Yeah.
I think a lot of time we go to a country and we can be negative after years of living there, but definitely having that positive view and perspective is so important, and I'm glad you have that.
Yeah.
Now, from your time as a lecturer at Inje University to now as a visiting professor at Busan National University, is there a teaching experience that stands out most in your memory?
Yeah, when I started teaching actually after finishing my PhD, and I got a chance in Inje University, and I have to teach. I thought that I'll be teaching in English in the beginning, but they said, no, you have to teach in Korean.
Oh, really?
And, I can, I'm really fluent in Korean, but it's all about day-to-day talking is fine.
Right.
But teaching a subject in Korean, which it's really completely different, okay? But I took that as a challenge, okay? And then I never make them feel like I'm a foreigner, because all my students are, Korean. So I tried in such a way that, whatever I speak, I will speak fluently, okay? So they never find me I'm a foreigner. Actually, so this is a really, great experience, and also motivated me that I can also teach in Korean, which people never believe that one. And also I was teaching a course called data science, which is completely it's more computer science oriented subject. But I teach to the students actually who they never get a chance to know what is AI, what is data science. So I motivated them, and then because they always ask a question, because let's say the students are from social welfare. They say, why we need to teach AI and what's the impact on our life? But the moment actually I explain them, and they're just really motivational, and then they did really well.
Yeah.
And also those ratings actually came after the semester. I felt really good that
of course
they like me, and they also like the way of teaching. And also I feel doing things independently, and also some real life project actually, how can they do it instead of we talk. So in that process actually I saw that one once they are into the groove, they're really doing well, and then become more independent. That's that kind of teaching. I love it. And then those experiences also I try to put in Busan University as well. But here, although I get a chance to teach in English, but the students are really nice. And then also I do the same way of teaching. So making them you have to be independent and do something actually, real time skills, instead of just teaching and then just listening and then just go away. So yeah, so those kind of actually feeling, so when at the end, the semester end, actually when I get the review, actually the student actually say, oh, professor, actually this kind of teaching actually helped us a lot to learn something and then to do something by our own.
Right.
So yeah, so this is actually kind of I feel really great, at the end that they are at least learning something. So yeah, because this is my say that even though after taking my course, never say that I didn't learn anything. I'm not going to leave that way anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So
well, I can clearly hear just passion in your words and just in you about education and student growth as well. And I'm still amazed that you taught all that, and not just just teaching maybe daily the things like you mentioned, but computer science and engineering in Korean language.
Yes,
that's amazing. I am in awe. And you mentioned you're currently running a startup focused on AI-based new material development. So could you tell us about your company?
Yeah, so a company actually working on the new material discovery. So we are also focusing more on the new drug development. So what happened actually in the beginning, the new drug development or any new material, actually in the beginning we have to put a lot of manpower and also money to find out some new things. Okay, so it takes time and money, and also sometimes actually we're not sure that we'll be getting what we're looking for. Okay, but through AI, what we can do actually, let's say we have a purpose, we can through that purpose actually we try to by using AI, we can reduce those time and cost, and then find that purposeful, like, let's say talking about a drug. Okay, so if we're making a drug actually for, let's say we are working for a neuro disease drugs. So we have, let's say, a lot of protein molecules. Okay, so if I do like one by one and then find the effectiveness, it takes minimum like 3 to 6 years.
Okay.
So but if we do by AI, what we already developed, it can be done within 1 year.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so then we can just let's say top 5 molecules. Then we can just test those molecules and then see that whether this effectiveness is there or not. So it similarly happens to other material as well, where actually in the beginning time, actually instead of like putting a lot of effort manually, by through the AI, actually we can just say, oh, these are the material for this purpose. So now you know exactly what you're looking for. You can then go ahead and then do the real test and then find out the effectiveness.
Oh, wow.
So this is what actually we are working on.
Okay. It's exciting to see technology being used for real world breakthroughs, and I'm very excited for your company as well. So you're involved in both technology and entrepreneurship. So what's your vision moving forward?
As I told you, like, there are many things actually, like, we do in research, but when you come to, like, making some as a product, it's very different, like, because I did a lot of work actually during my PhD, okay? But when I tried to make that one as a product, it was completely different.
Oh.
So by knowing the technology is not itself actually say that, you can be a successful entrepreneur kind of thing. So like, so that's kind of an experience, because when I start actually, like, I did a lot of mistake and then try to pivot a lot about what I need to do a product kind of thing. So I just, like, tell to all of like new entrepreneurs actually who want to be a part of this, entrepreneurship. They like, they never like feel like, oh, it's a failure. Whether like, in my way, actually, I always say it's either a success or an experience. Okay,
That's a great mindset.
So in that way also I learned it, because I also like, when I started actually I have no experience. Okay, so so I can say that all the technology things, or like, anything what we do in the research cannot be a great product. So we need to be, understand that one.
Of course.
So I say that all the new founders actually, even though they start with something else, if it doesn't work out, then don't get demotivated or give up. Just keep up doing it.
Yeah.
Something new will come out, and then you will end up making a really great product.
Right.
So
So it's going to be a success or an experience. And
yeah.
through experiences, it leads to success.
And and also because you asked about my vision, definitely I want to be, because now I'm a Korean, so I want to contribute something, which helpful to, as a Korea to be a global leader. Yeah.
So let's talk about that. So after acquiring Korean citizenship, you said, I want to contribute even in a small way to Korea's growth as a global leader in bio and advanced materials. So do you have any concrete plans related to that vision?
Yeah, definitely, because I mean, as I heard in the beginning as well, that Korea is always like a country where they like, always allow to try with the new technology. Okay, so that helped me, to start this company and working on this material, because I find like, there are a lot of universities actually like, working, a lot of companies also working, and also like the government is actually like giving a lot of funding as well, because recently also I received funding from the government as well. So I have like, I'm planning like to use all the resources and then, make such a platform actually which will be helpful for the Korean companies to make much better. And then actually we can say that we can like combinedly, doing it, because it's alone is very difficult. But yeah, if we can combinedly do it, definitely we can, be competitive with the global, companies as well. And also like, my plan, because I'm also like, I came from India, because in India is also like, they have a lot of the resources, and also talking about the IT resources especially. So I also want to be like, connected to this Korean, innovations to the globally. Okay, so that's why the goal is not only like, in the first actually make a great business in Korea, and then go to global, so that that can be used everywhere, all over the world.
Right.
So that's the plan. Yeah.
So from Busan to the world.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Now, listeners, if you're just tuned into Busan Worldwide, we're in the middle of the interview with Professor 샤티야브러타 Aichi. Now, Professor, I want to ask, what does Korea mean to you personally?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, like I was born and brought up in India. I mean, been there for like more than 20 years in India, and then so yeah. But when I came to Korea, actually, I mean, it was like I didn't think much what is my future is going to be. But to be honest, actually, the past 10 years has given me so much. Like it's all about like success, opportunities and a true sense of belonging. Really, I mean, and after coming to Korea, actually, I think I was a completely different person.
Oh, wow.
I get a lot of chance to, even though like before that, in India, actually, I never been to like, any of this radio program or any of this TV program actually. But here, I got an opportunity to like, expose me to different kind of scenarios. And also like I became, I know that, I'm not only good at study, but also I can, be to do some other things. So that's really, I mean, I feel really good. And then, as I told you, like, this country has embraced me, and in return, actually, I feel deeply connected and also committed to contributing, to its future. So it's, I feel more Korean, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think that's such a beautiful answer, and it really shows how Korea has become more than just a place. It's now part of who you are, and you mentioned you're grateful to Korea, but I think Korea is also so lucky to have you here. And finally, our text topic question is, what is your own way of adapting to a new environment?
Yeah, I mean, as I already told you, like, you have to stay positive because as I, stayed in different country, so I just said that, like how many days or like what purpose you stay in that country, just in that, during that period, just feel like this is my own country and all the people actually like kind of like my own people.
Right.
So in that way, actually, you will be never feeling like I'm an outsider. Okay.
Right.
So I can tell that to everyone that, whatever time actually just feel like their own. And then actually like, you should be like feel connected. I mean, and once you're feeling connected, actually all other things actually like, it will be just kind of an opportunity instead of like challenges. So that's how, even though in the beginning I didn't know anything about the Korean language, and after 1 year I started learning, and then now I became fluent, So it's all about like, I feel that this is my own country. I'll stay here. I mean, that time also I didn't know that I'm going to be Korean citizenship.
Right.
Okay. So it's then, but from the beginning itself, I feel like, this is my own country. All the people are here, my own people. So I can say that's like, instead of like, focusing on the negative things, if you think positive, I think everything surrounding you will be, much more happier, and then, you feel much better.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's a great advice, and staying positive, treating a new place like home is definitely a great mindset for adjusting to change, and it's such a pleasure learning about you and your journey here in Korea, and great to hear all of the stories as well. That's going to do it for today's The Interview with Professor 샤티야브러타 Aichi from Busan National University. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Yeah. All right, with that, let's take a quick song break. This is September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. and fire with September. Welcome back to Busan Worldwide. I'm your host, Stephanie Yoon. Now, listeners, thank you so much for messaging in and tuning in as well. Let's check out some of the messages. We have Kosu님 saying, hello, everyone. Natasha-님, Stephanie, Busan Worldwide team, and everyone, good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you as well. We have Chae-sung-님 messaging in with our text topic. Our text topic was, what's your personal tip for adapting to a new environment? 오늘 주제는 새로운 환경에 적응하는 나만의 노하우는 무엇인가요? 였는데요. We have Chae-sung-님 messaging in saying, for me, I think making friends and building good relationships would be helpful to live abroad. And that's what the professor during the interview was exactly saying. Having that belonging, that relationship and connection is so important to adjust to life in a different country, I think. And we also have Wisdom Tooth Fairy님 saying, 마음을 비우고 현장의 분위기를 익히고 또 그 집단에 녹아 들어갑니다. 서서히 일의 숙련도가 올라가면 이렇게 나만의 색을 또 내비비칠 수 있습니다. 라고 하셨는데요. I think so too. First, kind of emptying your mind, being open-minded, right? And learning from others, seeing how everyone does it, whether it's work or environment or a different country. Very important to have that open mind. Now, with that, let's jump into Busan Update. And now it's time for Busan Update. 장보고 National Rowing Competition begins tomorrow at the 서낙동 River in Busan. 장보고기 전국 조정대회가 내일부터 부산 강서구 서낙동강조정카누경기장에서 열립니다. This year marks the 51st edition of the event, which is divided into two categories, one for professional athletes and another for amateur sports clubs. More than 620 athletes from across the country will compete in 79 events across 20 disciplines, and winners in each event will receive certificates and medals. Now, this long-running competition highlights the continued growth of rowing as a sport in Korea and is expected to draw enthusiastic participation and support from both athletes and fans. Now, Busan is recruiting volunteers for the 106th National Sports Festival and the 45th National Para Games. 부산시는 오늘부터 7월 6일까지 106회 전국체전과 제45회 전국장애인체전의 자원봉사자를 모집합니다. Now, volunteers will help operate key parts of the event, including the main control center, information desks at venues, and the opening and closing ceremonies. All selected volunteers will receive training, certified service hours, uniforms, souvenirs for their activities as well. And a total of 4,000 people will be recruited through the official volunteer portal, and anyone over the age of 18 is eligible to apply. Final selections will be announced on July 14th on the portal, and this recruitment is an important step in preparing for two of the country's largest sporting events. And that was Busan Update.
BEFM's The Interview is waiting for your participation. If you have any interesting stories to tell or unique experiences you'd like to share with our listeners, please leave a message on our website at www.befm.or.kr. We hope that your lives and experiences can be an inspiration for our listeners.
And now it's time for News Insight with our reporter from 부산일보, Miss 양보원. 기자님 안녕하십니까?
네, 안녕하세요.
기자님 보고 싶어서 말을 더듬네요, 제가. Alright, so let's jump into our topic for today. Busan's city buses came to a halt for the first time in 13 years under the semi-public operations system, but service resumed just 10 hours later. Today, we will take a closer look at what happened. 네, 부산 시내버스가 준공영제 도입 이후 13년 만에 파업으로 멈췄다가 10시간 만에 또 운행을 재개했는데요. 오늘은 이 내용 알아보겠습니다.
네, 지난 28일 새벽부터 시작된 부산 시내버스 파업으로 부산 전역 147개 노선이 운행이 중단되자 시민들은 이른 시간부터 집을 나서거나 출근길 대체 교통수단을 급히 찾는 등 불편을 겪었습니다.
네, 출근길 시민들 입장에선 정말 당황스러운 아침이었을 것 같은데요. On the morning of the 28th, a strike by Busan city bus drivers brought service on all 147 routes across the city to a stop. And this left many citizens scrambling to find alternative ways to get to work, with some leaving home much earlier than usual. And as we know, that morning the subway was packed with commuters who usually take the bus. 평소 버스로 출근하던 시민들까지 지하철로 몰렸다면서요?
네, 그렇습니다. 저도 현장에 나가서 취재를 했었는데요. 현장에서 만난 한 시민은 이제 매일 버스로 출근을 하고 집 앞 버스 정류장에서 시내버스를 탔는데 오늘은 지하철을 타기 위해서 평소보다 20분 정도 일찍 나왔다면서 시내버스 파업에도 출근 시간 조정은 없는 만큼 협상이 이어지면 불편이 계속될까 봐 걱정이라고 얘기했습니다.
그렇군요. So one commuter shared, I usually take the bus right outside my home, but today I left 20 minutes earlier to catch the subway instead. They added that since there was no change in work hours despite the strike, they were concerned about a prolonged negotiation could mean ongoing inconvenience. And I understand even some village buses were affected. 일부 마을 버스까지 파업으로 운행하지 않았다면서요?
네, 그렇습니다. 평소에 마을버스를 이용해서 출근하던 시민은 회사까지 걸어서 출근하기도 했습니다. 이 버스 정류장에는 대체 교통수단을 안내하는 부산시 안내문이 붙어 있었습니다. 그곳에서 만난 한 시민은 이제 노사협상 결렬과 파업 결정 사실을 아침에 알고 놀랐다면서 평소 버스를 타는 친구들도 아침에 황급히 지하철을 타고 출근하기로 했다고 말했습니다.
I see. So some citizens who rely on village buses had to walk to work, and notices from the city providing alternative transport information were posted at bus stops. One resident said they were surprised to learn about the strike only that morning, and many of their friends rushed to the subway to get to work. So many people were hoping for a quick resolution. So when was the agreement finally reached? 많은 시민들이 빠른 합의를 바랄 수밖에 없는 상황이었는데요. 합의는 언제 이루어졌죠?
네, 부산버스운송사업조합과 부산버스 노동조합은 28일 날 12시 30분께 정기상여금의 통상임금 반영, 64세 정년 연장을 핵심으로 하는 임금 단체 협상 조정안에 서명했습니다.
I see. So at around 12:30 p.m. on the 28th, the Busan Bus Transport Business Association and the Busan Labor Union, or Busan Bus Labor Union, signed a deal. The agreement includes incorporating regular bonuses into base salary and extending the retirement age to 64. And that was just 8 hours after the strike began. So then when did the buses start running again? 파업 8시간 만에 협상이 이루어졌는데요. 운행은 언제부터 재개됐나요?
네, 버스 운행은 파업을 시작한 지 약 10시간 만인 오후 2시를 기점으로 순차적으로 재개됐습니다.
I see. So service resumed in stages starting at 2 p.m., roughly 10 hours after the strike began. So what exactly did both sides agree on? 이번 파업을 통해 노사가 합의한 조정안에는 어떤 내용이 담겼나요?
네, 조정안에 따르면 부산 시내버스 근로자의 임금은 내년부터 10.48% 인상될 전망입니다. 기존에 정기적으로 지급되던 성과 상여금과 학예 휴가비를 기본급에 포함하는 방식으로 통상임금에 반영을 하기로 했습니다. 당초 부산 시내버스 노조는 내년 기본급 8.2% 인상, 정년 63세에서 65세로 연장, 정기상여금의 통상임금 포함 등을 요구했습니다.
그렇군요. So under the agreement, wages for Busan city bus drivers will increase by 10.48% starting next year. Regular bonuses and summer holiday allowances, which were previously paid separately, will now be included in the base salary. Initially, the union had had demanded an 8.2% base salary increase and an extension of the retirement age from 63 to 65 and the inclusion of bonuses in base pay. So now it sounds like the negotiations were quite drawn out. 합의까지 적지 않은 시간이 걸렸다면서요?
네, 그렇습니다. 지난해 말부터 올해 5월까지 무려 11차례 회의와 부산지방노동위원회의 3차례 조정 끝에 정기상여금의 통상임금 반영과 기타 요구안을 수용하는 방식으로 아까 말씀드렸듯이 실질적인 임금이 10.48% 오르는 합의가 이뤄졌습니다. 지난 27일 저녁 정년 연장과 통상임금 반영안에 사측과 노조가 합의하기로 가닥을 잡기도 했으나 준공영제로 운영되는 부산 시내버스의 특성상 부산시가 추가 재정 투입에 난색을 보이면서 양측의 협의는 결렬되기도 했습니다.
I see. So from the end of last year to May this year, the two sides met 11 times and went through 3 rounds of mediation and with the local labor commission. In the end, they reached a deal centered on raising base wages by including bonuses. And though a tentative agreement was reached on the 27th, Busan City's reluctance to provide additional financial support under the semi-public system caused the talks to collapse temporarily. Now, how much additional funding was the city expected to provide? 부산시의 추가 재정 투입 규모가 얼마 정도이길래 시가 반대한 건가요?
네, 부산시는 지난해 12월 대법원이 판결에 따라 성과상여금을 통상임금에 포함할 경우에 연간 500억 원 이상의 추가 부담이 발생할 수 있다고 추산을 합니다. 시는 2023년 2,710억 원, 2024년 2,820억 원 등 매년 무려 2,000억 원에 달하는 재정을 부산 버스 운송 사업조합에 지원하고 있습니다.
그렇군요. So Busan City estimates that including performance bonuses in base pay following a Supreme Court ruling in December could cost the city over 50 billion won annually. The city already supports the system with over 200 billion won each year, 271 billion in 2023 and 282 billion in 2024. So then what's the city's plan going forward? 그렇다면 부산시는 앞으로 시내버스를 어떻게 운영할 방침인가요?
네, 노사 타결 직후에 시는 박형준 시장 명의로 낸 입장문에서 버스 준공영제에 지원되는 시 재정은 모두 시민 세금으로 시는 물론 버스업계 노사 양측 신중히 지출해야 함을 잊어서는 안 된다고 강조했습니다. 시는 이번 파업 사태를 계기로 도입 17년이 된 시내버스 준공영제를 전면 재점검하겠다고 밝혔습니다.
I see. Right after the agreement, Mayor Park Kyung-jun released a statement stressing that all funding for the semi-public system comes from taxpayers, and both the city and the bus operators must manage spending responsibly. The city also announced plans to thoroughly review the semi-public system now 17 years in place. Then let's wrap it up with a summary. 그럼 오늘 내용 정리하고 마무리해 볼게요.
네, 지난 28일에 부산 시내버스가 준공영제 도입 이후 13년 만에 파업으로 멈춰섰습니다. 지난 27일 사측과 노조가 합의 가닥을 잡기도 했으나 준공영제로 운영되는 부산 시내버스의 특성상 부산시가 추가 재정 투입에 난색을 보이며 양측의 합의는 결렬되기도 했습니다. 파업이 시작되자 평소 버스로 출근하던 시민들까지 지하철로 대거 몰렸습니다. 시내버스는 파업 10시간 만에 운행을 재개했습니다. 이번 파업을 통해 노사가 합의한 조정안에 따르면 부산 시내버스 근로자의 임금은 내년부터 10.48% 인상될 전망입니다.
I see. So on May 28th, Busan's city buses went on strike for the first time in 13 years since the semi-public system began. Though a tentative deal was reached the night before, negotiations broke out due to concerns over additional city funding. The strike disrupted commutes, of course, forcing many to turn to the subway. And fortunately, service resumed within 10 hours. And the final agreement includes a 10.48% wage increase for drivers starting next year. And that's going to do it for today's News Insight, speaking with our reporter from 부산일보, Miss 양보원. 네, 오늘 소식은 여기까지 듣겠습니다. 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다.
All right, and that was News Insight, our Friday segment of the week. Hope you enjoyed it. Now, before we wrap up, our text topic for today was, what's your personal tip for adapting to a new environment? And we have 고수님 messaging in saying, 그곳이 어디든 그 주위에 무엇이 무엇이 있든지 둘러보고 주변의 모든 부분을 활용하기도 한답니다. So I think there is a common theme here. Looking around, observing, and just accepting that we're new there, right? And being open-minded as well. So definitely thank you so much for sharing your tips and your experiences with us as we talk about adapting to different places, whether it's Korea or different workplaces or different countries as well. And listeners, that's all we have prepared for you for today's edition of Busan Worldwide. We will be back tomorrow for Saturday edition of the show. And today's final song is by 백예린 with 우주를 건너. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
혼자서 널 기다릴 때면 나 혼자 다른 액상에 있는 듯해 여기서 네가 있는 곳까지 얼마나 오래 걸릴지 난 궁금해 상상이 안 돼 내게 좀 더 빨리 와줘 그대가 없는 이곳은 내게는 너무 깜깜해 나 여기서 두 발 벌려 그대를 안아줄 준비가 돼 있어 너와 나 사이의 우주를 건너 내게로 우주 Like to come over to me 너와 나 사이의 우주를 건너 내게로 날아와줘 더 이상 기다리게 하지 마 Yeah, I'm waiting for you now Hey, hey, hey Baby, I need you now Hey, hey, hey I'm waiting for you now Hey, hey, hey Baby, I need you now 저 멀리 널 보고 있으면 너와 나는 다른 생각을 하는 듯해 Yeah, yeah 여기서 언제까지나 기다리고 있어야 하는지 궁금해 답답하기만 해 내게 지금 빨리 와줘 그대가 없는 이곳은 내게는 너무 막막해 꼭 잡은 손 그댈 놓치지 않을 준비가 돼 있어 너와 나 사이의 우주를 건너 내게로 우주 Like to come over to me 너와 나 사이의 우주를 건너 내게로 날아와줘 더 이상 기다리게 하지 마 멀리 있는 것만 같아도 손 내밀면 잡힐 듯한 그대 그림자 그댈 꼭 안고 내 맘 느낄 수 있도록 놓지 않을래 I'm waiting for you now 너와 나 사이의 우주를 건너 내게로 우주 Like to come over to me 너와 나 사이의 거리 그 사이 우주 가득히 너로 채울게 나에게 다가